G'day, welcome one and all to another installment of Guvs Hero and Impression Review videos. This time we are going to be continuing in the High Noon series, taking a look at the 5-star legendary yellow hero, Doc Colton, the Certified Medical Doctor. Now, Doc Colton is available for summons only during the High Noon Challenge event portal, which appears once every 16 weeks. The portal is on rotation with the other 3 challenge events, which also come around once every 4 weeks. So 1 in 4 of 1 in 4 weeks makes it once every 16 weeks. Now, Doc Colton was a newer addition to the game. He was released about 2 years after the original High Noon release, being added to the family in the portal in April 2022 alongside Sunbeam and the 3-star hero Blaze. Now, we'll flip over to my roster and we'll take a look at his artwork real quick. So there's Doc. So his artwork does sort of feature a couple interesting notes. So he's got like the little carrying medical bag. He's got an accoutrement of medical implements just stored on a shoulder strap, I guess. But weirdly, he's lost a leg and he's now got a fake foot, which is kind of alright for a medical doctor. But, you know, he picks up on a number of those, 1800s sort of doctor elements, or 1900s. So, yeah, I mean, you know, maybe picking up some of those snake oil salesmen of the Midwest, always marketing that miracle cure that will cure everything. So, I don't know, but that's his artwork. So, freeze it, have a look at it in more detail if you so choose. But we'll head back over to the portal now to take a look at his family. So, Doc Cooper is a member of the High Noon family, which means that whenever he fires his special skill, there is a 10% chance to trigger the Duel at Dawn bonus effect, which will deal 150% damage to all enemies that have an inaccuracy ailment and apply a minus 44% accuracy debuff to all enemies for 3 turns. There is also a passive stat bonus for having multiple unique heroes from the High Noon family in a battle. This will grant a plus 2, 4, 6, or 8% attack bonus for having 2, 3, 4, or 5 unique High Noon heroes. The key note is that they must be unique heroes. You can't bring along 2 copies of Doc Colton. They do have to be different heroes, such as Doc Colton and, say, Marigold. In terms of his personal stats, Doc Colton comes in with 670 attack, 779 defense, and 1452 HP. So there is definitely some skewing towards the defense and HP stats, which is good for a healer because it does lend additional survivability to him. And we're not too worried about his attack output because there's no attack in his special skill. His charge speed is set to 48, which is average and requires 11 tiles to charge or 6 ghosted tiles. To achieve a speed break, you do need only plus 2 speed, which can be done using either the Ragnarok Vantage or the Triss Vector. To get a double speed break, you need plus 8 speed improvement, which can be achieved using either weapon, but needs the 2% speed bonus at the plus 19 on the emblem tree. So if you get that 2% speed bonus, you can double speed break him using either the Ragnarok Vantage or the Triss Vector, but you need that 2% emblem bonus first. Speaking of his class tree, Doc Colton is a member of the Medic class, which grants him the chance to heal all allies for 7% health after receiving any damage. It is a very handy perk as it does grant free healing to all allies. The only downside is that it only procs once at the end of each turn. So it doesn't matter how many instances of damage you actually take. You could take 15 minion strikes or 30 tiles, but there will only be 1 instance of healing available. In terms of the emblem path, we'll just flip back over to my roster and we can show it there. So I do recommend going a defense and HP route. So you can see I've started mine. I haven't gone much further than that. I personally would go defense over HP, just my preference personally. So you can see I've gone left to pick up the defense and HP. Then when there's a choice between defense and HP, I've gone left for the defense node. If I was to carry it forward, I'd probably come right at the next node, then swing left, come back to the right to pick up the attack and defense node there, grab the node 15 medic node, and then go left, and then finish off at node 19 for the 2% speed bonus. So that is what I would do in terms of an emblem path. I obviously haven't gone any further because medic emblems are in hot demand for my roster. Heading back to the special skill card, his card and the special skill. His special skill is titled Snake Oil Liniment. So snake oil salesman indeed. So at level 10 skill and 48 charge speed, this will heal all allies for plus 485 HP. It will heal an additional 260 HP for the ally who has the lowest health, and then grant a plus 50% attack against purple for 3 turns, and that applies to all allies. So splitting that up, there's 2 main components to it. There's the healing, and then there is the attack buff, essentially. So if we start off by having a look at Doc Colton compared to available yellow healers, or I'm going to include pseudo healers in this, we can see that Doc Colton is pretty good. He comes in with 220 healing per tile, that's granted. If you factor in the bonus healing, that goes up to 244 health per tile, that is provided. The only yellow healer that's better than that is Variant Pika, who is just phenomenally fast at 8 tiles to charge. She also comes in with 244, so equivalent to Doc Colton with his bonus healing. Some of the other ones you've got Marrow, who does armor over time, coming in with 190 effective healing per tile. Nima, who comes in at 131 from her minions, but then also generates an additional 7% or approximately 96 HP per turn in additional healing. Monkey Wrench, a 4-star minion maker, comes in with 81, and the worst of the bunch is Hanalai, who comes in at 30 heal per tile from her 8% minions. So that's in terms of yellow. So we can see that Doc Colton is actually very much up there. He's equal best in terms of yellow healers, tying with Variant Pika, who is just much faster than him. If we compare him though just to only direct healing direct healing 5-star heroes, so we remove all the people that do armor and minions and stuff. So having a look at that list, we can see that Pika variant is still the best available healer in the game at 244 heal per tile. Doc Colton then is therefore equal best when you factor in his bonus healing, but some of the other options are Jocasta at 227, El Coyote also at 227, Anastasia, I've kind of included her healing and her armor because they're both instantaneous, so she comes in at 212, normal Pika 161 as I said, Pulse comes in at 175 without her minions, so you know, Doc Colton is a very, very, very good healer. With the bonus healing, he is equal first in terms of the healing output. One thing to note though with that bonus healing is that it is determined after the first line of healing is completed. So essentially, there is a weird situation that can happen where if you've got a hero who is at 100% health, but they have lower HP though, their maximum health is still lower than someone else, they still get the bonus healing because they have the lowest health of your allies. It doesn't factor it in on a percentage basis, it's an absolute value. So to put this into an example, if you've got one hero who is on 600 out of 900 HP and another hero who is at 500 out of 500 health, the hero who's got 500 health will get the bonus healing because they're at because 500 is less than 600. So even though they're at 100% HP, they will still get bonus health healing. It's really dumb, but that's just how it works. So just be careful with Colton when you're combining him with heroes who have very, very low base HP, such as 4 and 3-star heroes. The other element of Doc Colton's skill is an improvement of plus 50% attack against purple enemies. This is kind of like a reverse of a elemental defense debuff, and it does therefore stack with all other forms of buff and debuff of the elemental and defense format. So it does mount up to some pretty hectic damage output, and it's very handy when you've got a purple heavy defense or even against purple war machines when you're stacking yellow tiles against that strong color. So I love Doc Colton. I love a 5-star direct healer. He has bonus healing for the one hero that really specifically needs that extra healing, which makes him even more valuable. The purple attack buff does make him much more versatile than being just a healer because he has a support aspect to his skill as well. And it does make him a staple inclusion in both my purple war machine team and also against a lot of raiding situations where you've got multiple purple enemies on the defense team. The family bonus does allow him to potentially trigger damage. that does make him quite unique amongst most of the healing options, because there's not many healers and damage dealers in one hero combination, albeit it is only a chance for him to trigger that. So, you know, the only thing that would make Doc Colton absolutely perfect A+ tier across the board is if he had a Dispel or a debuff, but I just wish that on every healer, basically. I just love having a healer that's got a debuff attached to him. So in terms of Doc Colton's grading, I do rank him very highly. I love him quite a lot. So for war and raid attacks, I'm going to give him an A-, because he does have a lot of versatility and that healing is phenomenal. For war machines, I'm going to bump that up to an A just because of that attack buff against purples, so he does gain some usefulness in a war machine team. Events, I'm going to drop it down to a B- just because he's good for survival, but not really necessary for competing in the events. For war and raid defense situation, I'm going to give him a B-, which is probably about as good as most other healers, better than most, realistically. Best position suited, probably the right wing or right flank, so that he does come in after other heroes firing their special skills, but not, yeah, he's pretty good there. In terms of the tournaments, there is no grading I assign for Bloody Battle just because he's healer, so there is no point ranking him there. For buff boosters, I'm going to give him an A and a B, marginal increase due to the additional buff that he provides all of his allies. And for charged attack, I'm going to give him an A and a B as well, because he does gain some charge improvement, going from 48 up to 65. So overall for his grading, he comes in at an A- for his overall attack grade and a B for his overall defense grade. So he's a very good hero overall. So very much worth leveling if you do get a copy of Doc. Even if you get multiple copies, it's probably worth leveling at least 2 of them for war purposes. So yeah, that concludes the content that I have for this review of Doc Colton. As always, this is just my personal opinion. I do love hearing your thoughts and feedback on these heroes, so please, if you've got some thoughts, jump down into the comments section of the video and drop me a note. I love reading them, and I always try to respond to as many of you as I can. If you did enjoy the video and found it to be useful, like the video, subscribe to my channel, have a look around at some of the other videos, but most importantly, share this video around, because chances are if you found it to be useful for yourself, it's also going to be useful to other players in the game as well. Thank you once again for tuning in and joining me for this review of Doc Colton. Good luck with your PuzzleCombat adventures, happy gaming, and until I see you next, cheers and goodbye.